When my mother passed away, my world fell silent. I was only 8, too young to understand the weight of death, but old enough to feel the hollow in our home. Her laughter used to echo in every corner of the house. After she was gone, only memories whispered her name. But through that darkness, one light remained: my father. I remember that night, when everyone had left after the funeral. I sat on the floor, holding a picture of my mother, tears blurring my vision. My father knelt beside me, pulled me close, and whispered, "I will give you all the happiness in the world, my child. I promise." He kept that promise. Every morning, he would wake up early, pack my lunch with my favorite snacks, braid my hair with the same clumsy fingers that once held my mother's hand. He learned to cook her recipes just the way I liked them, burning a few along the way, but never giving up. When I cried at night, missing her, he would sit beside me and tell me stories, not just fairy tales, but real stories about how brave my mother was, how much she loved me, and how proud she would be. He made her memory a living part of my growing up, not a wound, but a warmth. He worked extra hours to make sure I never felt the absence of comfort. He attended every school function, clapping louder than anyone else. And when I stumbled, failing a test, breaking a friendship, facing heartbreak, he stood beside me, never letting me fall alone. Years passed. I grew. So did his love. Now, as I stand here at my college graduation, I search the crowd. And there he is, tears in his eyes, pride on his face. The man who filled my life with happiness, not because he had to, but because he chose to. My father gave me more than love. He gave me strength, joy, and the courage to dream. And in every beat of my heart, I carry both my parents, one in memory and one in every step I take forward. Life moved forward, but my father never changed. Even as I stepped into adulthood, got a job, and moved to a new city, he remained my anchor. Every evening, he would call just to ask if I had eaten, if I was happy, if I needed anything. He never said much, but his love was in the little things. The surprise visits with homemade food, the handwritten birthday cards, the way he quietly transferred money to my account when I never asked but somehow needed it. One winter, he fell ill. Just the flu, the doctor said. But something in me felt uneasy. I rushed home, and when I saw him lying in bed, weaker than I had ever seen, my heart clenched. He looked at me and smiled weakly. "I'm okay, just tired. Seeing you is enough to make me better." I sat beside him, holding his hand like he once held mine. I made soup the way he had made it for me when I was a child, read aloud his favorite newspaper column, and for the first time, tucked him in. For weeks, I stayed by his side. Slowly, he recovered, and one evening, as we watched the sunset from the porch, he said, "You know, I was scared I wouldn't be able to keep my promise. But seeing the person you've become, I think I did." Tears welled up in my eyes. "You gave me more than happiness, Papa. You gave me a life full of love." He smiled, and in that moment, I saw not just my father, but a man who had once been broken and still chose to become whole again for me. Now, as I begin a family of my own, I carry his love forward. I tell my children stories of a man who never gave up, who gave his child everything, even when he had nothing but a heart full of love. And every time I hold their tiny hands, I silently make the same promise he once made to me. I will give you all the happiness in the world. Years passed. Life unfolded like chapters in a book I once dreamed of reading. I was now a parent myself, and with every sleepless night, every scraped knee, every tiny smile from my children, I began to understand my father even more deeply. It wasn't just what he did for me. It was how he did it, with silent strength, with unshakable patience, with love that never once asked for anything in return. My children loved him dearly. To them, he was not just Dadu, but their superhero. He told them stories, just as he once told me, except now he made them laugh more than cry. He planted trees in our backyard with them, telling them, "One day, these trees will grow tall, just like you." Time, however, doesn't wait for anyone. One quiet morning, he passed away in his sleep, peacefully, without pain, just like the gentle man he always was. In the days that followed, I felt the same ache I once felt when I lost my mother. But this time I also felt something else: gratitude. A deep, unwavering gratitude that I had been blessed with two parents who gave their all. At his funeral, I stood with my children beside me. I didn't cry much. I didn't need to, because I could feel him everywhere, in the wind that rustled the trees he planted, in the smile of my daughter, in the way my son hugged me tight. Later that night, I found an old letter he had written, tucked away in his drawer. It read, "If you're reading this, then I'm gone. But don't be sad. I lived a full life because I loved you. I kept my promise, didn't I? Now it's your turn. Be the light for your children. And when they fall, be the hand that lifts them, just like I tried to be for you." I folded the letter, pressed it to my heart, and whispered, "Yes, Papa, you kept your promise, and I will keep mine." And so, the story continues, of love passed from one generation to the next. Quiet, strong, eternal. Seasons came and went. My children grew, just like the trees Dada had planted. Their roots deepened in the love they had received, and their branches reached out to the world with courage and kindness. Every now and then, they would ask about him. "Papa," my daughter once said, sitting under the mango tree he had planted, "what was Dada like when you were little?" I smiled, the memories flooding back like a warm breeze. "He was my everything," I said. "When your daddy died, I was scared and lost. But Dada never let me feel alone. He gave me the whole sky to dream in, even though he had only clouds around him. He gave me the sun when I was cold, and a hand to hold when I fell." They listened quietly, eyes wide, hearts open. My son, still young but wise beyond his years, asked, "Do you miss him?" "Every day," I said. "But I feel him still, in the way I hug you when you cry, in the food I make with love, in every story I tell. That's how he lives on." One evening, I found my children writing a letter. I peeked over their shoulders. "To Dadu," it began, "we never met you like Papa did, but we love you. Thank you for loving him so much that he could love us like this." Tears welled up in my eyes, not from sadness, but from the beauty of love passed down like a secret gift. And in that moment, I realized something. My father's promise wasn't just to give me happiness. It was to plant love so deeply that it would bloom long after he was gone. And it had. In me, in my children, and one day in theirs.